the big
Never mind.
BO5, the Fiora. It is a singed support for Techno Kremlin.
I guess it has to be. Like, what other
Yeah,
configuration
it
is
is.
there?
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
Like, surely it's not farming Singed with a support Ashe. Like, have we gone this far? Has Believix gone this far? And clearly they've been working on Champion Pool a little bit more. I mean, LeBlanc is Jaina Proudmoore's preferred pick, but like, yes, Yuna had to reach a little bit deeper to find that Fiora, and then like the Ashe and Singed is something that we haven't seen before from Judgy Rocks and Techno Gremlin.
The spellbook singed support.
There's a small amount of doubt in the back of my mind. Like, what if they're doing something really, really crazy?
Yeah. Okay, I am at 15 seconds almost now. I don't know where you are.
Just keep me updated. I'll pause and then we'll match up.
I'm at 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33,
Okay, there we go.
34. Okay, you're good. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay, potential for level 1s. Not going to be able to find anything, unfortunately. What is the key to zoom me out again? I can't remember.
Control-Shift-Z.
Why isn't it working? Okay, now it's working. Okay, we're good.
Minions have spawned.
Now, Ghost for Judgy Rocks as well. I think that's been something that's gotten very popular recently, right? Like, Ghost on AD carries as a whole, especially the ones that are heavily kiting. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, it should have good value this game. Like,
Yeah,
playing,
I think you kind of need it.
playing versus Udyr Darius, who can be kited pretty easily. I mean, Ashe already is a champion that does well into these champions, but then like that additional mobility will be a big issue for Brainstorm later into the game.
Yeah. And the Darius jungle pick as well. I mean, obviously it's something that's been permanently banned away from Fanxy over the course of the season, but it's not something you see very often. Obviously, I think it does have one of the fastest players in the game though, if I remember correctly, and I think he can solo Dragon at one of the earliest points in the game too. Not that I suspect he'll be going for anything too risky, but
yeah,
I think it's gonna be
very good.
Yeah. Jarvan finishing his top side first though. I think it'll be a little bit until we see anything too wild. I thought maybe Jarvan might go for something level 2. Didn't really have a window to. So yeah, I'm curious as how Techno Gremlin is going to be able to do anything in this lane. I feel like it's so difficult to get on top of Hawksbill and Nymphobrainiac. Luke Caruana taking a huge trade. Jenna has to flash away at level 2.
Yeah, top trading heavily, and Jarvan is in position. I feel like Fanxy needs to get there fast, otherwise it might just be first blood potentially here, but
okay. Good jamming. He's going straight in, but Luke Caruana is already so tanky. Oh. He's going to be just about slowed. Fanxy comes in here just in time, and this is surely going to be first blood for Fanxy. Luke Caruana goes and finds the second. Jenna stunned inside the bush. The slow is enough, and the axe swing. The second kill for Fanxy. Now this is a problem.
Yeah, it's always a problem, but
no Darius.
Like, the problem there from Believix is that you need a far better setup. Like, you need to coordinate your CC, the Udyr needs to be killed immediately if you're in a situation like this. If he's able to retreat back to his jungler, then Darius just pops Ghost and cleans up. Like, yeah, I don't feel like they realized what was at stake there, how big the risk was if you can't pull it off immediately. And yeah, Fanxy gets the first 2 kills. That's never a good sign if you're versus Brainstorm.
Yeah, I think backing away with your tail between your legs is better than risking it for that much. Oh my god, this Udyr damage at level 4.
Yeah, the base damage
really seems to be struggling.
It's something else on this champion.
Yeah. Jenna obviously did opt for the grasp, so...
Oh!
Lucarwana going for a dive potentially, and he's going to fall! Really unnecessary to go for that. I think overestimated his damage a little bit. Potentially forgot about that Fiora invulnerability as well. That definitely...
Not sure what that was about.
Yeah. Jenna handed away back into the game, really.
And it's sort
He's
of
gonna go back
undoing...
and get the Sheen. Yeah, I was gonna say, really undoing like the lead that he kind of got for free.
Yeah, now Fiora comes back to lane with better items. But both TPs burnt already, so now it's all of it's gonna be about how well top laners can manage waves in order to avoid disaster.
Yeah.
No sums left.
That's really, really bad. I mean, I'm assuming he just forgot about the riposte. Technically, is going to be able to find Hawk's Bill, excuse me, with the throw, but...
Wow. Really early
I think, the Nympho Brainiac throwing the Ignite down straight away onto Jujirocks.
Oh, so Darius soloing the dragon now.
Yeah, at level 5. I mean, they do have the prio for it in bot, but I don't think it alone is really enough to do about it. Duke jamming is going down into his bot side jungle, so maybe, but I think they might just give this one up and let him have it. I don't think you really want to be contesting this Darius when it's Fanxy, no less. When he's 2-0 at 6 minutes. There it is.
Scott chose
the first
the base
strike of the game. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's such a risky fight to take at the same time. And Jenna obviously running the grasp, not really going for the same kind of extended trades that, I mean, Luke is kind of enforcing for most of the lane, as far as I've seen it. Oh my god, once you get caught by Ashe, she really can, you know, let go of a ton of damage really, really quickly, especially with the tempo stacking now.
Yeah, right now, Ezreal is in a bit of a pickle. The early game is not very favorable if you're in a matchup like this, or if a support can't really help you pressure. It's just Yuumi. Like,
yeah.
The later you go, the better it gets, but right now, they just have to sit back and endure this. Ezreal not running TP either, so have to be careful with your back timings.
Yeah. I mean, since the Fanxy 2 kills in top lane, it seems to be to an extent that Believix are almost scared to go for anything. The riposte does land, and the duelist dance is going to come out straight away. Lucarwana already down to half HP, but Jenna's going to have to retreat with the amount of healing, shielding, and damage on the champion.
Oh.
Fanxy
Duke jamming needs to get here fast. If he's doing red buff,
he is passing upwards. Fanxy is going straight up into top lane, but they're going to retreat away from it. Janna Proudmoore also has to flash away. That Anivia wall getting her stuck straight in the middle of the blizzard.
Alright, so dive averted. Nicely done by Believix. But if you look at mid, I feel like Christian Simeone's getting away with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Just hanging there mid, not really forced to do much of anything. It's even CS versus LeBlanc, but Jarvan has not come mid. This is very good for Brainstorm.
As far as I can tell. Yeah, as far as I can tell, Believix sort of, like I said a second ago, after those first 2 kills, have kind of seemed to lose a lot of confidence. Like they just don't seem like they want to go for anything. Maybe waiting for an opportunity to present itself, I suppose.
Perhaps, but if you're Jarvan and LeBlanc jungle mid, I don't think you
Yeah.
get that
Yeah.
luxury.
Luke Carwata taking a full trade inside of Junna's minion wave, a level down and winning, and is gonna go straight for the all-in.
Oh.
The riposte is not enough. And the bird is here to finish it off. Technoground also has to flash away. And this is starting to get out of hand, I think.
I'm really just perplexed by what is happening on the map. Benivia gets the roam top lane. Benivia gets the first roam on the map before LeBlanc gets the first roam. And now Brainstorm just off to an early lead where they don't really they shouldn't have one.
Proudmore might find himself in a little bit of trouble. The bleed's gonna finish him off, and that damage so early in the game. I don't think you want to be going for this. Or I am mistaken. They do turn it around. Hawksbill does get pulled back, but the arcane shift might just be enough to get him out with his life, along with a couple of suns used. Christian Simeone is going to come in and try to return something for his team, but everyone does manage to escape with their life. I might be wrong, and the Ezreal ultimate is enough in the end to take out Judgy Rocks and Technogram, and also so close to falling too. Luke Carwana also going for an all-in in the top lane, and victories all over the map for Brainstorm Unleashed so early in the game.
Yeah, so Believix decide finally that they want to be proactive, but they were not tracking the jungler very well, and Fanxi just gets kills. Oh, that Awaken Phoenix stance is...
That Proudmore is enough to come in. The flash onto the duelist stance is going to be enough healing to just keep Jenna alive for Jenna Proudmore to take his first kill of the game in top lane. I think safe to say the first successful play from Believix so far in this game.
I've just realized I have to switch the labels on stream. Believix is on red. Just give me a second. But yeah, I like the move from Scott finally. Jaina Proudmore, sorry, Luke Caruana gets punished for really trading super hard in his laning phase.
I mean, the thing is, it's so I don't know what Jenna is meant to do, because he's just Luke Caruana's walking up in Jenna's minion wave like a level or two below him and just winning trades so hard. I don't know if the Conqueror would really help for Jenna in this kind of situation. The second Drake of the game, the first for Believix, going to be theirs. Finally getting something onto the map, but in turn, Fanxi with this Herald top lane, and the tier 1's gonna fall. That's gonna be all the plates as well, and Christian Simeone is there. The riposte will not be enough, and Jenna is going to fall in the end to Luke Caruana. And even with the dragon, it's just constant losses. Like everything you can do, I can do twice as well. Really. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to come out, but they just don't have enough damage! And Hawksbill with the ultimate finishes off Judgy Rocks. He's going to have to flash away, but the Cataclysm is enough for Duke of Jarring to finish him off himself, but the kill is immediately traded back for Nympha Brainiac. And it's a 4.2k gold lead already, but this cat is in trouble. A John Bradmore, 1 HP. Nympha Brainiac does get away with his life in the end.
Yeah, they didn't have really the luxury there to keep going. Like, it was either just go then or don't get the kill. But going back to that top lane situation, this time I don't feel like Yuna has anyone to blame but himself when you looked at the positioning of all the people on the map. The Herald play was like committed to by Brainstorm Unleashed, and this is the sign where you just have to concede and wait for a better situation to come up. If your jungler is not close by, like, you just have no business staying there in that position. Can't expect to survive.
Like, no objectives for a little bit. Maybe a little bit of downtime, but a game that has been fairly active. Christian Simeone with this blue buff, he's just going to be able to power farm waves, but Luke Caruana going to find himself in a little bit of trouble, does not know that they are coming. Tries to move back, but he's not going to be able to get away in time. The Awaken is used to block the CC, but does get locked in place, but is going to get away with his life. And Judgy Rocks in bot lane, brought down so low, but he's still trying to fight. The exhaust goes down onto Hawksbill, and Technogrammer just does not do any damage. And Hawksbill, it's not enough to find the kill in the end. This cinch support doesn't seem to be really working. They are going to try and dive Christian Simeone, but there's a Fanxi waiting for them in the brush. He doesn't have his flag. And the Noxian Guillotine, he's going to fall. Fanxi, he's caught inside the wall. But they're not going to go for the second kill, just taking this one and getting away with it. Gonna finding these trades a little bit easier now. So much healing from these two champions.
Yeah, Udyr is actually matching.
Yeah, I don't understand. The duelist dance is going to come out as well, but it just does no damage whatsoever. Luke Caruana fully matching the duelist power and more.
Yeah, he was also fighting inside of the minion wave, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
On top of the mythic for Fiora, and nothing for Udyr as of yet. Does have that Warden's Mail, obviously, but with the amount of true damage that Fiora usually does, it isn't as effective as it might be against someone like Set, for example. I don't think I could have used a worse example for that, but I think the likes of Urgot, if you take Warden's Mail first into an Urgot, you'll fight him once, and if you have a look at the Warden's Mail passive, it shocks me every time. I think it's a really, really good item, actually. I don't see it built very often in early game. My god, that blizzard damage already. Fanxi hovering around mid lane. Nobody noticed he is there. But Jenna Proudmore, I think, unless he does try to go in himself, will probably have enough to get out. Dude jamming, looking for something into the spot lane. Hawksbill still sitting under tower. Digirox with the Kraken Slayer doing a fair amount of damage. Yes, well, it's not going to land, and the flagon track does go in. Hawksbill, he's ignited and he is ticking down, but he's not going to fall. The Caruana goes in, is completely immune to CC, and Digirox is going to be the first to fall. Duke of Jamming will be next, courtesy of the Anivia wall, and Technogarden has to ghost away. But Jenna Proudmore is in no man's land. There's no way he gets away with this. The sun isn't going to land. He does have to flash away. The wall not quite blocking him off either, but there's an angry Udyr waiting to pounce on this. Not going to land the stun. I think Jenna Proudmore is just about going to get away with his life.
The desperation mounting for Believix. They keep looking for plays that just end up not working. Ezreal, once again, what we said in the draft, he actually can nullify a lot what Jarvan brings to the table. We tried to dive him again, but his slipperiness plus the Yuumi healing just denies that completely again. Like, I guess the bonus HP from Triforce saved him as well. He actually went for a slightly tankier build. Another initiation.
And it's another fight, but I'm completely mistaken. Fanxi is not going to fall on the backline. The healing from the swing of the axe and Believix. It is an absolute massacre. It's a 4 for nothing. I thought Fanxi was dead. I interrupted myself because I thought he was so finished. But it's just way too much. And Jenna Proudmore.
Well, Leandris. Unlucky.
The Leandris giving back the tower aggro. Banksy claiming a misclicked in the ban phase. Does seem to check out fairly well. Jenna Proudmore, the only one that's been able to find, I was going to say a lead, the only one who's been able to stay even or not too far behind. Even still, just not really able to look for anything anywhere. Duke of Jamming on this Jarvan, it's a champion that really does have to play, like, he has to be so far ahead, and he's 1-5 and 50 CS down to a Darius. He's really, really going to struggle. Pretty much a full item down. Darius is so strong. Another blue buff.
Yeah, it all really came down to those first 10 minutes and how it played out. That first gank that was top lane, the moment Kanxi catches these 2 kills, you know he can just push that lead, but Jenna Proudmore,
that's another pick.
Miscalculates.
Sorry, I had to. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't fully in call for a second there, but I mean the only person that maybe could look for something is already down. I just don't. There's no way back now, really, is there? The decimate on this Darius, every time I think he's going to fall, he's immediately full HP again. And my god, the Sunfire Aegis damage. Jenna is continuing to trade. I don't know why this champion does not take damage to riposte. I am just completely mistaken. The Ezreal does enough to finish him in the end. But that Udyr shutdown, going to Singed, going to Even Shroud Singed. No less.
Yep.
And
wow,
the Ashe arrow is enough to see the Baron, but I was going to say it's not enough to stop it. It is in the end, and the wall is going to catch Judgy Rocks out. They are just walking too far forward. You can't do this.
Yeah, how many times already we've seen just Believix fall prey to Christians and Yoni's and Nivea?
Yeah.
Like, these walls, like, you have to respect the terrain control this champion has, and also the stun that can just keep you CC'd for a very long time. You have to choose your approach wisely versus these champions, and Believix just either haven't done any approach in the first 10 minutes, or then just choose the wrong options, the wrong timings.
The first 2 inhibitors, I think, yeah, most definitely will fall. That's 2 super minions in 2 lanes, and you don't have a lot of wave. You don't. In fact, you have little to no wave clear on this team.
Yeah, that's another issue.
Oh, little AOE.
That
Jarvan is going to do absolutely no damage. I didn't even think about that in draft. There is absolutely 0 wave clear. 2 inhibitors gone at 22 minutes. How do you do anything?
Yeah, well, looking at this draft, I was like, okay, Believix clearly choosing champions that indicate they want to look for early edges, they want to fight a lot, they want to maybe look for skirmishes, try and get mid ahead early, but none of this ever came to fruition. So, like, I don't think you can really afford to keep going like this versus Brainstorm, who just has a natural affinity for picking scaling stuff and just out-team fighting you. If you can't really execute with this early game plan, then yeah, something's got to give and you have to switch it up pretty fast.
Yeah, the Baron and the 3rd dragon of the game, 2 inhibitors down. I don't think it's actually possible to come back from this unless Brainstorm Unleashed deliberately throw the game.
Well, I think even if they tried to throw, it would be pretty hard for Believix to actually do considerable damage to anyone.
Jenna Proudmore looking for a flank, but he's just not going to do any meaningful damage to anyone.
Well, takes down Yumi.
Cat, for some reason, was on her own, technically going in by himself and completely giving those 5 hammer stacks to Darius. The riposte does not block the Noxian Guillotine, and he's going to fall as well. The last one down, and Judgy Rocks is all on his own. Luke, not satisfied yet. The flash forward from Hawksbill, and this game is well and truly over. Game 1 goes to Brainstorm Unleashed with a dominant display.
Frontline was untouchable from minute 15 onwards, pretty much. Every attempt that Believix had just fell to ruins pretty much immediately after they tried anything. Is just didn't work. It all started from that first gank, and then like I feel like confidence was kind of shattered after.
Anna is here for Christian Simeone. What do you make of this?
Well, this is certainly a different look. Well, the first problem I see is we're playing Cassiopeia into Azir Ezreal. I feel like that's never enjoyable if you're on the Cassiopeia side. You just have to walk past the soldiers somehow, past hundreds of mystic shots thrown on your head, and then like Ezreal is so safe with the Yuumi on top of him, or you just get dove by the supercharged Hecarim with the cat on top. Like, technically, Cassiopeia, like, she likes to play versus melees, but I don't know. Hecarim is still very unpleasant to play against. You can actually get engaged on and put out of position, and then it gets pretty scary.
This is going to be another one of those games where if Banksy gets ahead, oh boy, you better run for your life. But we are in for game 2. Are we synced up? I'm at 17 seconds. This is very scuffed. Okay, so if the lead client works, then we're good. I don't think either team particularly wants a level 1. Both teams probably just gonna 5 point.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Yeah, no particularly effective champions. Well, maybe, I mean, Ezreal can do a lot level 1, but not a lot of CC to accompany Ezreal.
Yeah.
Minions have spawned.
I think that is an AP Gragas in top lane, judging by the first strike. But opposite side starts for both junglers. Zac, Digo jamming on the Zac, pathing straight into his Sivir, as expected. Well, I mean, Fancy, I mean, you can play for the Gragas, but he definitely doesn't particularly need it. And you can really play for any lane here, to be honest. Jilla's definitely going to struggle a bit in this early game, though.
Yeah, Gragas eventually gets outscaled, but early trades should go in his favor.
Yeah.
Zac, I mean, there is some setup in the bot lane, I suppose. Like, Singed, if they manage to keep Ezreal in one place, Singed can fling.
Then... Did go for the, he had Ghost last game, I believe. Is it Flash this game?
Yeah.
I do actually quite like that to keep up with the Arcane Shift.
So they have...
Podula.
Oh, never mind. It's going to be mid instead.
Slingshot into mid, and Christian Simeone does have to use that dash to get away. He's going to path straight towards the river. Jedi Prepwar does pop the ghost, and I think you can burst down the Cassiopeia potentially. He does have to flash away from the soldiers! And it's first blood for Jedi Prepwar. Very, very well played in that fight. Both flashes used for both mids, but Cassiopeia does not have TP. She is going to miss a fair bit here. I think she would have died if she was standing in the way of the soldiers. Very, very good flash.
She might miss a wave from this. I don't know if Azir can push this fast enough. Maybe he can, but like you have to applaud the intent from Believix. This is completely different.
Yeah, going for things. Yeah,
Duke of jamming,
exactly.
does his free camps, instantly sees the opportunity mid, they make it happen. This is what was supposed to happen game 1 and just did it. Like mid lane was just an island for some reason.
Yeah. I think something about this Nasus pick though is that it can get out of control pretty quickly. Like everything's fine, you think you're winning lane, and then all of a sudden he just decides, no, you're not actually. Luke, I think, definitely playing this very, very well though. Making Jonah's life absolute hell. Duke of jamming. Straight into bot lane. Does have that slingshot up. It's only 2 points in it though, so not going too far. As well, does kind of need to wait for that arcane shift to be down to really do anything.
Both
See
top
from the
laners
pings
running
that
up.
they know someone's there. But with Fanxi backed, both bot lanes just gonna stay neutral, not really go for anything. And I think the idea behind this Singed pick is the sludge to ground the Ezreal. Which feels really gimmicky and kind of just not efficient to me.
Well, later on in fights it could deny both Azir and Ezreal from dashing away.
Yeah.
If it's placed correctly,
Yeah, you're right.
it could be effective, I guess, but like in lane, it's sort of just standing there. I guess it's alright if you're Sivir and you eventually just scale into a monster. Judgy Rocks even took call, so yeah, they're in for the long run here.
Yeah, really, really good start for this approach exclusively farming lane. Fanxi looking for something in top lane. Is going to pop the ghost, and Junna does manage to get away. That is a big sum used for Fanxi. A lot of time used in this top lane as well.
Yeah, Luke
Duke jamming might look for a return in mid lane, and the cat is no more. We do have a pause. I can see from the calls that he is definitely definitely has DC'd. It's not anything other than that. He's out of Discord as well. I don't know if you have chat on. I don't know if Shrin can see chat, but Mark did just explain why he picked Singed into Yuumi. He's been watching the T1 YouTube video of Keria playing Singed support into a Yuumi.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's worse than the gimmick.
There is watching a YouTube video right before the game, and then there is actually understanding how the pick works at all stages of the game, and also the execution part.
A summoner has disconnected.
Like if
Christian Simeone, the second to fall in this game to the disconnect.
you haven't played a single game of Singed support in your life before this series, there's no way you understand your limits and what the champion's actually capable of. Like, from my experience, just looking for counter picks, like improvising last minute, it just doesn't go well, ever. In a UNL context, I would definitely avoid this.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Now I don't know. I don't think we have any way of knowing really if Christian Simeone or Nympho Brainiac will be back anytime soon. But do you know actually? Do they live anywhere near each other? Or no? Considering they both went at the same time, it could just be an area outage.
Well, it is a group of friends, but I don't think they live in the same apartment.
Yeah, but as in, if they live in like a small town close together, it could just be a specific area. I'm not sure. I have absolutely no idea. We know nothing. They haven't said anything to us. Techno Gremlin also with the huge reveal that he has realized that that Ezreal can't E with the sludge, which is what I mentioned earlier.
I mean,
Pep
if,
immediately offering himself out as a sub. They are both back in call, so we will see. They are both restarting router, as far as we know.
I thought, Singed Mega Adhesive being an ability of the grounds champions was like common knowledge at this point.
Yeah, he's explaining it
I
like a
don't know,
TikTok
man.
trend in chat.
This is like doing your homework on your lap, like 5 minutes before the lesson starts.
Oh
The
no.
vibes are bad. I really don't know why I'm seeing Singed the second time in a row.
Nah, the thing is, it's because if it went well in the first game, I could understand it, but it just didn't look good. And now it's not looking good, but on blue side. I mean, I just don't know what the pick offers that can't be replicated by something better, is my point. Unless you're a top main that's playing support and you play Singe for some reason, which is about 3 people over the across the world.
Alright, I mean, I'm not going to just openly criticize the pick itself because honestly, I don't really know everything about it. If it's
Yeah.
like a very recent trend, frankly, I haven't seen it even one time in my solo queue games or anywhere else. I'm not going to question like the effectiveness of it, but I do question choosing to play it in the most important series. Choosing to play it right before the game starts as well. Like, I don't know.
Well, the bird is back. We're just waiting on the cat. They are both still back in call, so I think everything should be okay soon.
A summoner has
The
reconnected.
cat is back. And we should be restarting any second now.
A summoner has disconnected.
I take it back. They said we should be okay, and their mid laner immediately disconnected again.
A summoner has disconnected.
And the cat has also now bitten the dust. What are the are there rules about this, Stubbs?
Well, there are 15 minutes allotted to each team, technically.
So they have about 7 minutes,
A summoner
or
has
Believix will win UNL Season 7.
A summoner has disconnected.
And
A
they are
summoner
gone
has reconnected.
again. It's just a cycle of reconnecting and disconnecting. So what happens then when it gets 15 minutes? Is it... Do they have to FF, considering it's finals? Is that any different?
I don't know what to tell you because just like many rules in the rulebook, it's not really enforced very well.
Yeah. We're back.
Whoa.
We are
Whoa,
in
whoa,
game.
whoa, 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 whoa. Holy.
Now, what do we have here? It's just all turned back on straight away.
Yep, now a small freeze because the game's trying to catch up. Okay, but the way things are going... Oh, big damage!
Everything but the ultimate response! And I've completely... My game is just freezing and unfreezing. I can't even tell what's going on. The explosive casket did come out, I know that much. And Nasus did have to ascend in response, but both of them going net neutral, all 4 subs used actually. But the Shuriman Shuffle does come in, and the Hecarim comes flying in, and Jenna Proudmore is going to fall, and it is the first kill on the board for Brainstorm Unleashed.
Yep.
Finally, they find something. Something to work with.
The call to gank mid was pretty much immediate after the pause. Cassiopeia still missing flash, and if you're versus Azir, and jungler is close by, you're pretty much always in danger. Like, that's kind of a dynamic, whether it's like Azir versus Victor or Azir versus Orianna. Like, those mages can hold their own, but when 6 hits, Azir can always threaten a gank with his jungler. So Brainstorm make use of it. And Faxi is once again with a big lead in the jungle. Scaling towards the Manamune, actually. He's going to commit to that. That is a hard scaling option for jungle.
Yeah. I think once this NASA starts getting online, it's going to be really difficult to deal with, though.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some
He's
stack
jamming.
watching.
Looking into the ball lane, the flash comes in into the flip, and the slingshot is enough. Hawkspill is gonna fall. The kill will go to Judgy Rocks, and the cat all on her own. Completely vulnerable to everything. She's gonna survive a really long time, but the kill is gonna go to Judgy Rocks in the end. That's 600 gold onto a Sivir at 9 minutes. Jonah finds himself in some trouble in the top lane. The explosive casket does come out. Luke Caruana, he's so weak, and Jonah's gonna take him down with the last siphoning strike. Just about he falls. And it is a 2 kills in bot, a kill in top, and a Drake for Believix. This game already looking so much better than last game.
Yeah, things are going pear-shaped for Brainstorm because the scaling champions are just getting kills. The matchup top lane is already falling in Nasus's favor, and then, yeah, the Mega Adhesive paired up with the Long Engage from Zac means that if you're actually, you know, if your legs are stuck to that glue, you're not getting away.
Premor does manage to flash away from the shuffle, but they both turn around and they're not going to be stunned. Christian Simeone has to flash away along with the exhaust. He's going to get hooked back in along with the flash into ultimate. Jenna Premor gets his second kill of the game, excuse me. And it's another free pick. I really thought Jenna Premor should be dead there. Really, really good flash away. That combo being used over and over again, just rinsing and repeating it. The Shuriman shuffle straight into the horse in your lane.
Yeah, I did feel like it was about to be a kill, but then the onslaught of shadows was just too short.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. That was maybe just a mechanical error, but...
Oh my god, that siphoning strike damage already.
Yeah, we're at 174 stacks at 10 minutes.
At 10 minutes? What? That is ludicrous numbers. The explosive casket does come in, and Luke Caruana
that's not good.
Setting up for his jungler, but I think Jonah just wins. He pushed him back towards the tower.
Wow.
And Luke Caruana is going to get away with his life. Fanxi will be just about able to finish him off in the end. Hawkspill does pick up 1 kill, and it's almost a 1v2. But that kill did go to the Ezreal. That's definitely, across all points of the map, really beneficial for Brainstorm Unleashed.
Yeah,
the Herald into top lane. Jonah does have TP up, but it's 10 seconds until he can do anything, and that's another 320 gold onto this horsey, along with his 2 kills and 40 CS lead, with a cat on his back.
They actually make it work just in time. You saw how low Gragas was, and he's building squishy as well. Like, he's not going tank, because he knows that, like, if he goes for that option, it's not gonna work. And
the Shuriman shuffle completely whiffs, and Duke of Jamming is there to capitalize. A 3rd kill for Jenna Proudmoore. It is going miserably for Christian Simeone in this game after a really, really good first game.
Well, mid is off of his counter pick. I mean, his biggest comfort pick, arguably, his best mage. And all of a sudden, it's not looking as hot as it was in the first game, but it's also, it has to be said that Duke of Jamming is being a lot more active on this champion than he was on the Jarvan.
He's having a lot of a better game than the first game.
That's making such a big difference. Oh, Techno Gremlin, the alcove play.
Hex flashing over the wall.
They see him. It's not gonna work. Oh.
They're gonna go straight, and the Yumi ult has to be used in response, but the Believix spot is in a world of trouble, and Judgy Rocks falls for the 2nd time, caught out once again. And this Nasus lifesteal starting to stack up. He's getting pretty much immune to these Qs. My god, that is doing a chunk of his health.
Yeah,
that is a lot gained in bot lane though.
Yeah, it feels like they are pretty easily baited into a fight. Like, if they just see the other bot lane trading, they will go for the 2v2, but...
The body slam was enough to cancel the slingshot, but he's going to be pulled back, and Luke Caruana's going to fall. Plus 12 for Jenna. Making the puppy in top lane work. But Christian Simeone does have a lot of free farm in this mid lane, trying to find a way back into the game.
Still far behind the curve, though. And Believix just got Nasa's an even bigger advantage. It does not bode well for Brainstorm, because not sure who can really stop him. Like, okay, Azir eventually can do that. In a team fight scenario, he eventually will have enough damage, but that's still...
Judgy Rocks again caught out for the third time, and it's another free pick for Hawksbill. Good TP from Luke Caruana. Jenna Proudmoore looking for some cheese damage onto Christian Simeone, but they're going to try and dive the snake in mid lane. It does have to flash away. That's a valuable sum gone for Jenna Proudmoore. Judgy Rocks, for the third time in about 5 minutes, getting caught out into a fight for no reason.
That is a trend that has been consistent for a long time with this Believix team, and all of this work that has been done for mid and top is getting undone once again. And at some point, you just have to stop the bleeding. You can't, like, you have to use the band-aid. You can't just let the wound flow. You gotta do something. At least, you know, when you look at top lane, you can be assured that it's just gonna get worse for Luke Caruana, as he's about to get ganked by the sack.
Slingshot in, he does flash away from it, but the flash ult in response. And Luke Caruana, the explosive casket, not enough to keep him alive. Duke of Jamming picks up that kill. His first kill on the board. And his 7th kill participation in this game. Having a really, really good game, actually, Duke of Jamming.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep bullying this Gragas around, and they don't even go for the Herald, because Nasus is fine having this kind of lane state where the towers just keep standing and he gets to farm safely no matter what. It's not about the tower, it's about the stacks.
I think Jenna definitely being neglected by Brainstorm Unleashed for the most part. And there was that one situation where they had a 3-man top, but other than that, very little being put into that.
Another shuffle.
And the Shreeman Shuffle straight into the path of that onslaught of shadows. Christian Simeone, that shutdown, maybe a foothold back in. Trying desperately to get back into the game as much as he can. It's definitely going to help him out a lot.
Well, it is looking dire in the top lane, but then you look at the jungle situation, and it feels like Fanxi just opened the wormhole to find more CS in another Summoner's Rift map. How is he even 80 CS ahead of his opponent? I don't understand.
Actually, I couldn't have put that any better, honestly.
It's getting scary.
I think this Hecarim Yumi is gonna really be a problem. I don't know how you deal with it.
Like, the Azir may not be able to hold his own for now, but you're gonna have a Hecarim with Muramana stacked in about 2 minutes or so, right before this next Dragon timer.
I think this Dragon fight is going to be huge coming up to it. But do you get Jenna down for it, or do you leave him alone to just do his thing in top lane? How much do you value this Dragon?
Well, we know it's going to be Mountain Soul.
Yeah.
And from how both teams interact... Oh, okay, no 2v2. Oh,
and
wait,
he's going to get caught out again. He's gonna fall. It's another free kill for no reason.
Oh,
Techno
Hawksbill.
Gremlin's gonna fall too. Hawksbill, very, very well played, but this same thing, it's just happening over and over and over. They were 2-0 and now they're 2-4.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, and it's happening again while the rest of Believix are just trying to make a play on the other side of the map.
The Caruana. Steady in this bush. Not gonna look for anything in the end. Both Duka jamming and Jenna Promore just going straight back to mid lane. Fanxi got a lot of Duka jamming's bot side. While he knew they were top. And extends his CS lead even more.
Interesting, so he delays the Muramana. Just goes
Jenna
for Black Cleaver.
is exhausted and he just takes so much damage from this Ezreal. He's so strong. The Prowling Projectile is going to slow him, but he might be able to get out with his life just about. Oh my god, is this Ezreal doing damage? That should straight on. I don't know what Christian Simeone is doing in the mid lane. He's gonna fall. It's a free kill. Almost very, very well played, but Technocrat throwing the horse over his head. And it's another free kill for Hawksbill and a free kill for Fanxi. And I think Believix potentially beyond saving at this point if they keep playing this way. This is no longer something you can point out with the draft or with anything in their game. It's very obvious what's going wrong, but it's going wrong over and over and over again.
Yeah, the fact that you're running scaling champions does not really excuse you from random deaths happening at the most wrong timings possible. Well, it is fortunate for them that they got this Drake, but Jaina Proudmoore has flashed this time.
Almost caught out by the explosive casket. Does have to flash away from it. That could have been really, really dangerous. Shreeman Shuffle wasn't up for that, mind you. It is up now.
Red team's
But
turret has been destroyed.
losing things on all parts of the map. From a position where it looked so good and so easy to win this game. A couple of poor unneeded deaths and all of a sudden it's really difficult to do anything really. Fanxi is level 15. Duka jamming is level 11. The slingshot comes in. The Shreeman Shuffle's not going to be enough to get him away. He's going to fall first. Hawksbill gets caught out by the ultimate second. But Fanxi is just so strong. There is nothing they can do against him. Luke Caruana is here to help as well. He goes straight diving in. But the dog is here to help now. The siphoning strikes doing so much damage. And Fanxi's going to fall. It's another kill for Jenna Proudmoore. And somehow they trade even. Somehow.
Another
The explosive casket only going to catch out Junna. But it's not going to be enough to find anything meaningful, really.
Yeah, well, the idea there from Brainstorm was potentially... Well, okay, the initial engage from Christian Simeone, I guess he just was trying to bait out the spell shield before going in. But I guess he still wasn't in range, and then, yeah, once you use that dash forward, you're compromised. You're basically dead to rights if you can't use that shuffle.
Yeah.
They still have Fanxi that does a lot of damage, but even, you know, he can be
I
in
really
a 1v3
thought he would be
situation.
stronger than he looked there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still vulnerable because he's not really running anything but damage. May have some health to work with, but that gets burned down fast by Cassiopeia.
Jenna Proudmoore caught out all on his own, but the slingshot is here to save him. His jungler constantly with him. He's gonna get caught out. The stun comes in onto Hawksbill, and he's gonna get shuffled straight back into the tower. It's a 1k gold shutdown for Jutta, and he's trying to get away. Fancy just looks so weak without any tank stats. He's gonna find a kill onto Duke Jamming, and the Silver Q is not enough to take down Luke Caruana. In the end, Christian Simeone is on 1 HP behind his tower. Judgy Rock's also 1 HP at the back of the fight. Fancy's gonna look for an engage with the Spinning Strike. Just completely one-shots. They are just completely disrespecting Junna.
You better buy that armor. You better buy that armor. He has over 500 stacks. You can't just walk up to him like that. You just die.
537 sacks on this Nasus. That is crazy numbers. For solo queue, that would be crazy numbers.
The fact that he only has Sunderer to his name doesn't really matter.
Insane! That's insane. Honestly, that's insane.
Yeah, it was close because the Brainstorm engage was pretty damn good again, but like the scaling is coming online for Believix.
The two raid bosses of this game being Fanxi and Junna, one is very clearly a lot stronger than the other right now, and I think it's just due to the lack of tank stats for Fanxi. Christian, almost enough to catch Judgy Rocks out. He is just constantly on thin ice. We've made note of how many times he's got caught out, but the amount of times it could happen, I think, is a lot higher than the amount of times it has happened.
You know, if Fanxi somehow finds his way on top of Sivir with these items, she's just going to get shredded instantly, but when it's anyone else, I feel like...
Judgy! What are you doing, Judgy?
I just
He's
jinxed
going
it.
to get caught out!
I jinxed it. I genuinely just jinxed it.
Why on earth is he pushing mid lane?
My god.
I don't understand. You know where they all are.
The rest of the team is
That's
doing
gonna
well.
be a Baron.
But it doesn't matter when Brainstorm just keeps getting the picks on the carry every single time. They're going to burn this down.
No, it's going to be taken, but that's a huge ground from Singe. The Singe shot comes in as well. The Streaming Shuffle bounces them all the way. Junna is still on this front line. Fank is going to fall first. It looks so good for Believix. Junna is so strong, but the fight has turned around. And the last one to fall is Shannon Proudmore. It is a complete throw for Believix. A complete throw.
Well, yeah, they actually just take down the Hecarim because he still doesn't have defensive stats. But the sins of the past come to haunt Believix. When you look at this Ezreal, he's definitely ahead of the curve, and Hawksbill has shown that he can pilot this champion pretty well. And that's still going to be a pretty big issue for the Nasus. Like, the attack speed, slow, Ezreal doesn't really care much about that when he can just cube and it's not really affected by his attack speed stat in any way. And then they can just keep their distance. Like, it's all about whether Believix was able to burn down the front line fast enough. With Sivir down again, they just weren't able to do it.
So early in this game, it was just in their hands.
It's still winnable, despite all this.
It is winnable. It is winnable.
But that was a big misstep from Judgy Rock.
Fancy is level 17.
He's actually going for a magic resist.
Close to 3 items. I think needs about 100 gold to finish that off. But his lane opponent Hawksbill on 4 items on this Ezreal. Brainstorm Leash trying to push out this bot lane. They are 2 Drakes behind though. And Believix are on soul point, which is huge considering it is also a Meta soul.
Well, now if they can get more gold on the map, it is very much possible that they'll enter the next dragon fight with a big advantage. I mean, they already have a big advantage, but that is just going to increase even further. And then a fight at dragon is very much possible.
Jenna, he's really struggling to get on top of people with the Cyrildas now.
He's actually with the team. It's Cassiopeia matching
And
Gragas.
Judgy is caught out again. He has to flash away and the ult will not catch him out. It's happening too often. The slingshot immediately dodged away. They don't really have the wave clear without Simmer to be dealing with this. Jenna's still stacking that siphoning strike.
Yeah, when Cassiopeia is top lane like this, it's even easier for Brainstorm to just pull the trigger and try to fight.
Yeah.
Well, they get that one tower. There's still 1 minute until the dragon. They can just safely reset, put down their vision again, and just get to it. They'll shred it very fast, too. It's Believix who actually have to find a way onto Ezreal somehow, and I don't know if that's even possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, God, this game is just so difficult. It should have been so easy. Rylai's onto Christian Simeone. Jenna is going to have a nightmare playing against us. Can't hit anything. Brainstorm Unleash now, setting their sights on this mid lane. The Drake is coming up very, very soon. The Ezreal ultimate is down. Dukajomi has to slingshot away. Fanxi already taken quite low, going to be healed straight back up by the cat. And Judgy still sitting alone. Nowhere to be seen with his team in this fight. Really going in from a separate angle. Yuumi ult has to come out. They're not going to contest. They're just going to let it go. I think it's probably your best option at this point. But it's not even that he's getting caught. It's the amount of times that it's been possible to catch him, and it's not happened as well. It feels like every fight he's just so disconnected from the rest of his team. I feel like the only way you can really play the game here is to sit behind your Nasus and Zac and just right-click things. Let's say this Hecarim, I'd say level 17 Hecarim with 4 items really doesn't seem as strong as I thought, especially with the cat in his back.
Yeah, I was about to, like, talk about that a little bit. I feel like his items could maybe use a little adjustment, but it's at this point it's too late to switch Black Cleaver onto something else. We're going to commit to the Baron now. It looks like
they're just threatening it.
Well,
Believix have no vision. They don't know.
Just gonna dance for now.
Techno Gremlin. He's gonna get caught on his own. The slingshot comes in and it cancels. Gets cancelled by that belly slam. The Ezreal is going to come out, barely tickling Jenna. Brainstorm Unleash setting their sights on this mid lane. They're going to return back. They're going to go straight towards the Baron. There's no vision for Believix in this river. They just don't know if they're doing it or not until they show mid.
Well, there's that one ward that Luke Caruana's standing on, so they know for now that BSU is not doing it. They can just stay put. But they can't. They have to be careful still.
Very close to getting caught out. Cassiopeia's really starting to ramp up. Definitely going to go for that. Rabadon's next, and that's when she'll really take off. Believix going to try and clear some vision on this Baron. to have at least a little bit of control in this game, but one misstep is all it takes. If Juna, Proudmore, Judgy Rock, Stickajami, even Techno Gremlin, anyone getting caught out here would be detrimental. They still just don't know complete control in this river for Brainstorm Unleashed. They're trying to get vision. He's gonna go in and face check it. He knows that there's nothing there. All 5 members of Believix in this topside jungle. Hecarim pushing mid, Ezreal, Yuumi, Azir pushing bot. Just no control in this game at all for Believix. Feels so out of their hands, like they're waiting for a mistake, if anything.
Yeah, and at this point, Brainstorm can just afford to play far back like this. Azir and Ezreal already have enough items to hold their own versus the front line of the enemy. It basically just transitioned to a comp where they're just gonna try and peel for their backline. I don't think they have to dive necessarily. I feel like your front line will just survive easier than their front line will. You play your cards right.
I'm gonna look for the Baron now. A couple of Believix members nowhere inside. Jujurox has to flash away from the soldiers. Christian said he's pushing bot on his own. Jenna Proudmore is going to look for something. Duke of Jamming does have that slingshot available, but he's not going to go for the steal. The Baron goes to Brainstorm Unleashed. Jenna Proudmore so low on the edge of this fight. Fancy going to try and find her. She's most definitely going to die. The slingshot comes in from Duke of Jamming to try and trade one back. He is shuffled out into the entire team, and he's going to fall so quickly. Techno Gremlin running around in the middle of the fight, doing absolutely no damage. Cassiopeia falls in the end. Caruana tries to flash away, but it's not enough. Juna is running rampage in this fight. 2 kills for him already, and he's going for more. Fancy right in the middle of 3 members, and he's going to fall as well. But Hawkspill in the back of this fight is completely 1v9ing. The slingshot's gonna come in, he's gonna get landed by it! The Sonic Strike is huge damage! Juna just has to dodge these Qs, the Sonic Strike! And it's not enough! Hawkspill is so weak on the edge of this fight! And they're both gonna fall to Kachami trades one back! And Yuumi versus Stack at the edge of this fight. And I don't know what I just watched. A 4 for 4, but the Drake is up, and so is Duke of Jamming. This cat on her own in her fountain can't contest it. And it's gonna be taken pretty much for free. No hex gates to get them closer to the dragon.
I'm pretty sure that teamfight just saved Believix the game, and Yuna is a goddamn hero.
Yuna is a god amongst men.
Judgy was bot lane, matching the Azir. No way to get to that Baron. They were essentially fighting at a disadvantage already, and they still managed to get out of that situation.
The Drake goes to Believix. That was very close. He's gonna be able to slingshot out. No one really in any danger here.
Probably just turn tail and run now, but yeah, you saw how close it was. I feel like Hawkspill, he saw the opportunity and he went in just a little bit too early. He was in a pretty bad spot with Nasus right on top of him, and that's what essentially enabled Believix to just barely get that fight in their favor. And now they have Mountain Soul, and that levels things up, levels things out a little bit.
Sivir on 4 items. She can't get caught now. She's been allowed to get to this point somehow.
Yeah, but now you see how effective the siege is from Brainstorm with these champions. Azir and Ezreal is all they really need, but at some point, Believix would prefer to pull the trigger. Azir falling low a little bit.
They don't really have a go button without Duke of Jamming, though. I think all it takes here is just someone to step too far forward into that slingshot, And this game could be decided on the spot. Jenna Proudmore and Duke Jamie sitting on the edge of this fight. He charges up the slingshot. It's a huge engage, but they all get out of it. Two people gonna fall straight at the start of the fight. Luke Caruana and Fancy is still alive somehow. The shuffle to try and keep his team alive. But it's a huge flash shot from Jenna Proudmore. Duke Jamie going straight for the last two members of Brainstorm Unleashed, and it is a huge engage from Duke of Jamming. He has been a monster all game, and they set their sights straight down the mid lane.
They finally...
He's gonna go straight in, and the E is going to be... Oh, he does manage to get out with his life in the end.
Yeah, but I don't think that changes anything. Believix just go for the end right now. It's only 2 members.
They can't do anything against it. Fancy goes in, he tries to get something from this fight. Christian Simeone in a lot of trouble. This Cassiope doing so much damage. The slingshot is enough to keep him CC'd. Fancy's doing so much damage. And Junna's just going to try and
focusing the Nexus.
And Junna is going to take it.
Alright. Woo!
Game 2 goes to Believix. That was a much better game than the first one. I was thinking maybe it's Shen. And we have the Jax in response to it. Okay. Well. I think Brainstorm Unleashed are really going to struggle for damage this game. I can only assume Poppy, Jackson, Braum at some point will all have heavy MR items. And then it's just a Jhin. And when Jhin has to do damage, I feel like it's just so bad in comparison to something else you could have.
Oh, hope I'm not lagging. That would be a pretty bad time to be experiencing issues.
I mean, it might be me. I don't know. But you are lagging for me.
Were you like 21 seconds in?
Yes. 24, 25.
Alright.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
A level 1 invade.
They're very quickly moving. They have Braum.
They get spotted out.
Minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Well, it may just be Jhin. We definitely expected something that's more hard-hitting, but what he does bring is setup. And I... Oh, okay, now I see Banksy starting from red buff, so I guess... Whatever. I was about to say, maybe it's time to path bottom side so we can take advantage of the Believix bot lane kind of just doing whatever in the laning phase and not respecting anything, really. But I guess instead it's just going to be Banksy trying to control Yuna in the early game.
It might have been me. I just DC'd and reconnected from the call. But I think I'm back. I think I'm good now. Yeah, obviously gonna struggle a little bit in these early levels, but should be fine overall. Duke of Jamming. Looking for something in mid lane.
2 camps into gank when the wave is not even in a good spot to gank in the first place. I don't know about that one. Good
Huge trade into bot lane. Technogram very, very low. Really struggles into a range support. I'm very concerned more than anything actually about these Believix support picks.
Yeah, last time it was more just Nasus and Cassiopeia taking over. And also, with Zac bridging the gap between early and late game. Yeah, Shen's gonna be fine in Beast trades for now. It's just later when Jax scales into a very formidable opponent. Right now, he's just kind of standing there.
Yeah, it's just noodle stopping at the minute. Does have to use the TP very, very early just to survive. Christian Simeone already feeling the power of this Ahri in the early game. Banksy has potential to look for something in this top lane. Luke Caruana fighting back, but even already with the sway of losing trades. Jonah Proudmore potentially in a little bit of trouble if he walks up just a tiny bit too far. No Spirit Rush available just yet. Banksy is looking for something top lane. Luke Caruana is trying to bait it, and he does manage to bait out the dash. Jenna has no idea.
Nice taunt.
He has to flash away from the slingshot. Really well played from Luke Caruana. Does manage to bait out Joe's flash.
Yeah, but now I think it's Luke in turn who has to TP. The wave is too big. Can't push it fast enough, just has to TP to control the situation. But yeah, thankfully he forced out that TP first, so pretty much doesn't lose anything from this in terms of CS. After that short trade, Believix bot lane actually stabilized somewhat. Now they are the ones who have the CS lead. So it is sort of small for now. Oh.
Actually, a small skirmish breaking out in the mid lane. Duke of Jamming, or in the river, excuse me. Duke of Jamming finds himself in a little bit of trouble. The flash Q, no fourth auto, tanked by Jenna Proudmore. He's gonna have to flash over the wall for his life as well. 2 flashes, or 3 flashes used, and 1 for Brainstorm Unleashed and 2 for Believix just to get out of that. Duke of Jamming very, very lucky to escape with his life.
Yeah, and this also gives extra time for Christian Simeone to get CS and push this wave in. Like,
Yep.
every little wave that he just gets to take for free is such a big deal for Kayle. Champion who needs both gold and experience. But primarily experience though, because we all know like the level 16 power spike is what all Kayle players play for. Once you reach that point, you become nearly unstoppable.
Yeah, level 6 has that Divine Judgment available. Definitely a lot safer, especially with that added range from the passive too. Veggie and Technogremlin trying to get this wave out from under the tower. Banksy is really, really far away. They have absolutely nothing to worry about. They can free harass all they want down here. And Proudmore as well, doing a fairly good job of punishing the scale to an extent. Technogremlin, my god, the reduction on the damage reduction on that shield is really crazy.
Just the 2v2 aspect, but Braum is doing a lot of work here.
Yeah. Jenna Proudmore does have that Spirit Rush available, might look for something. He's going to get caught out in the middle of the jungle by Christian Simeone. The charm does come out. Christian Simeone is going to keep trying to trade.
Nice
the
route.
press attack is procced. It was a great route from the Whisper from Jin, but the Deadly Flourish, excuse me, but he gets away with his life. Does have to use that Spirit Rush. Jenna manages to land the taunt. Duke of Jamming is here to help, and Jenna has that fully stacked lethal tempo, and that is most definitely a dead Shen and a first blood for Jenna.
Very nicely done. Believix, obviously, they have Yuna as their main win condition, no matter what game it is, and especially when he's on a pick like Jax, you want to have jungle attention up there, and it's exactly what happens. if they can get him rolling the same way he was in game 2, like, that's just a recipe for success. Brainstorm will get the dragon in response, though.
I think that's all you can really look for here. Both mid and bot very, very pushed in. Neither of them really in a gankable position at all. Fancy looking for a slingshot over this wall potentially. They don't have vision of the river. The problem where very little mana is going to have to back. And they did waste a lot of Fancy's time in that brush.
One positive for Believix immediately that I can see, the bot lane is very stable this time around. Nothing, no shenanigans, no random deaths. Well, random deaths, they kind of happened later into the game, so maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I should stay quiet for now.
Get caught out a little bit.
Gen-R.
No room for charm for Jenna Proudmoore. Stand United does have to come out, and that is a free wave, potentially even a play for Jenna. Luke gonna go straight back up to top lane. I don't know if that was worth. I mean, the Divine Judgment was still available.
Well, they forced out Stand United, which is a pretty long cooldown, and
yeah, it is.
Yeah, when Believix is making the next play in the next like 2 minutes or so, they can just make sure that they can commit to it 100%.
Caruana is on 1 HP, just manages to block auto attacks for just about long enough, and they don't commit to either side, and nobody's gonna fall. Christian Simeone still on his own under this tower. The flash comes in! Junna takes his second kill of the game. Fancy gonna bump him into the tower, and he's going to fall. The first kill on the board for Fancy and Brainstorm Unleashed. But I think that's definitely beneficial for Junna. Did have to use flash, but getting ahead on Jax this early. Such a stat checky champion. Duke of Jamming looking for a fight onto Fancy. Doesn't want to stun him into the wall. Jenna Proudmoore, no Spirit Rush available. Won't be able to catch up with the charm. They're both just going to get away without anything. I think Fancy got away scot-free, you could say.
Oh, we're still fighting for camps.
Still going. He does manage to steal away the scuttle.
He actually, yeah, he won the smite fight on blue and then on Scuttle Crab. It's got us smart a little bit.
Yeah.
But what happened earlier there, it's still a net win for Believix. Jax gets a kill, Kale dies, that just makes her hit the important breakpoints slower, which is a big deal.
Yeah. Duke of Jamming trying to clear our vision in top lane. Luke Caruana just under so much pressure, he just can't walk up to this wave. The Bork rush as well is going to make his life even more difficult.
Yep, what happened in the first 10 minutes means that Jax can get this matchup rolling much faster than he otherwise would.
Jenna Proudmoore, both the charm and the Q both go wide. Duke Jamming is going to maybe try and look for something, but Christian going to stay at a safe distance. Believix bot lane in particular putting up a much better fight than they have been the last 2 games.
Their job is a lot easier this time around. It's just hoovering up waves on cooldown, and it doesn't look like Din and Seraphine have a lot of kill pressure here. It's just
Jenna Proudmoore is here, does have the Spirit Rush and Flash available. Gonna go straight in, and it's a huge encore from Seraphine. She's right at the back of the fight, and they're all gonna fall. Techno Gremlin is the second victim. He's gonna get away with this flash. It's an absolute disaster so far. Duke of Jamming going to try and save something for his team. Judgy Rocks, he's just going to fall. A Techno Gremlin! Why did he jump back in? What is he doing? It is an absolute disaster for Believix.
Inexplicable.
No, but I mean,
but
one person.
Why does it
put
keep happening?
up that-
Like, the moment we praise Believix, something bad happens to them. We were like, okay, bot lane, up in CS, doing well, Sivir doesn't have to do shit.
It's
But
the
then,
caster curse.
the Ahri
It has
gank,
struck.
they commit way too hard in a situation where there was no reason to do it. And now, Brainstorm will... I don't know. Well, they're kind of taking their time with the recalls. I don't know if they don't really have tempo for this dragon, so I guess it's not all that bad, but the end result is, after that fight, Jhin randomly has 3 kills to his name. Didn't really deserve them. It just happened.
Oh, that's so bad. The dash at the end, that was what was, that one really confused me. Banksy gonna try and hover his bot lane. Nympho Brainiac is here. Does not have that encore available for a little while.
Well, I guess it's just a Herald trade for Dragon, maybe, if Brainstorm actually started. Right now, they're just looking for a gank opportunity. Jen sees this Herald play, but...
Banksy gonna come in with another gank. The slingshot Techno Gremlin is going. They're all going to get away. Valuable time lost. Not really anything burned, except for that Sivir ultimate. I don't know if you were using directed camera there, but it sort of looked like Fancy jumped across the whole map for me. The way it's synced up with the Poppy Dash. Luke Caruana looking for a fight here.
Uh-oh.
Does manage to taunt Duke of Jamming. He is doing so much damage. Junna on his own in top lane, taking that tower. I don't think that was good from Luke at all. For how much that they lost in top lane. He's gonna get stunned. My god, this Ahri is already doing so much damage.
Oh, mission
That Herald
completed.
is gonna crash.
Oh, never
I
mind.
lied. I have never seen that before.
He got it at the exact...
He auto-attacked it mid-charge and hit the side of it.
Yuna!
And the flash over Junna with another very clean kill. Digiroc's managing just fine, dare I say it. Duke of Jamming running straight into the spot lane. Is going to look for the ult, but it's so poorly executed. Hawk's Bill survives once again. The curtains have opened. Nympho Brainiac gonna try and support as much as he can. Duke of Jamming brought down to 1 HP. Isn't gonna land. Nobody dies, but very poorly executed from Believix.
Valiant effort, once again, from Believix trying to punish the bot lane's mispositioning, but again, not enough damage when the CC was, when the CC landed, just didn't have enough because Sivir was behind the play. So, yeah, if the timing was a little bit better, then maybe that works out for them.
My god, a Gale Force and a longsword and a crit cloak. That thing is going to be a nightmare for Sivir to deal with. Well, now that I look at it, she does have, like, in fact, more items.
Oh, he's keeping up in CS. Like, Digiroc's is
Yeah.
doing a good job. It's just that...
Playing a lot better than last game for sure.
That last situation was completely out of his control. He was the winning lane.
Yeah, gonna go
at top
in,
lane,
and
though.
Luke Caruana is just so dead again. He's gonna try and taunt and flash out, but they're responding with a bot side gank. It's going a lot better for not Manhattan Project, excuse me, for Brainstorm Unleashed down here. Another kill for Hawk's Bill. And Junna does manage to jump onto Luke Caruana. That's going to be a first kill on the board for Junna Proudmore.
And again, look
The
at...
jamming brought very low.
You just have to look at... Oh, we're not done.
Slingshot being charged. The Divine Judgment is going to keep Christian Simeone alive. The stun doesn't land for Junna, but Christian Simeone is going to fall too. It's just such an unnecessary commit. Junna Proudmore, 2 kills in quick succession. He's going to be really strong all of a sudden. But the slingshot back in. He has to flash out. I don't understand. Everybody is doing it. What are these recommitments?
No.
And it's another.
What?
The TP comes in, and look how what is there to
What?
save it, and he's going to fall as well. What is going on? It is just int after int after int. Oh my god, the curtains are open once again. Techno Gremlin almost killing his AD carry.
That was just complete.
Total.
That was a complete collapse of Brainstorm's topside in front of our eyes. Ari gets 2 kills, or maybe even 3 kills. Jax gets 1. You're seeing what these players can do with leads. Again, it's just Believix running away with it. They are the 2 best players on this team. Jaina Proudmoore and Yuna Dabula. They work so well together when they are ahead in their respective lanes. It's happening again. And I don't know if Brainstorm have enough firepower in this team comp to actually just match. Kale is still struggling to keep up. Not really getting any kills the same way Yuna's gifted kills.
And Luke is just dead again. He is in no man's land. Taunt not available. The slingshot might be here to save him. The Jax ult does come out. He's going to be so
He doesn't
tanky.
care.
He's blocking all the auto attacks. He's life stealing so much. And Fanxy's not going to fall. The ultimate comes out and saves him. I just don't think these fights are necessary. You don't need this extra 300 odd gold. You are so far ahead.
Yeah, greed kills in this case. I feel like he should have been just happy with
Oh,
one.
the charm goes wide. The Radiac's already brought so low,
Good
though.
spell shield.
The spell shield as well. He's going to be sitting on 1 HP under his tower. I think he has to run away. He's going to stay while Believix take this dragon for pretty much free. That only advantage that Brainstorm Unleashed has.
Brainstorm's gonna
running
commit to
away
this.
on the flash charm. It is so clean from Scott, and they get the dragon. Luke Caruana comes in with the TP too. That Divine Judgment is still available. Don't forget, Techno Gremlin is shielding his AD carry. The Sivir is doing so much damage. The Divine Judgment comes in. She's completely invulnerable. Jonah picks up his first kill. The curtains are open onto the back line. Luke Caruana picks up another kill for himself. Jonah is running rampage on two. I can't even speak. Brainstorm Unleashed again. 2 more members remaining. 4 down. A very, very beneficial fight for Brainstorm Unleashed there. I keep going to say Manhattan Project for some reason.
I wish we were playing there, but not, you know, happens.
I'm so sorry, man. The amount of times this game that I've gone to say it.
They lose the dragon, but Fanxy keeps them in this game. Zach may be a tank, but he still deals damage.
All this gold
actually has
on that
oh
Jax.
my god, he has 10 stacks on Darkseal, and he's building towards Demonic Embrace as well. Like,
Fanxy is actually going to be a really big damage threat.
Zach's gonna hurt.
Sounds so weird. Zach is gonna hurt.
And they have Seraphine with Moonstone as well. Like, in extended fights, Brainstorm should be favored. But
yeah. I mean, there is also this Jax just constantly stacking, the Sivir constantly stacking.
But it's still Believix who can really blow someone up really fast with their damage. And also the Sivir insurance policy is still there. Still running.
Yep.
At some point, you're gonna hit the Infinity Edge power spike and then you just win. But that time is not now. Yet.
Christian Simeone, maybe a little bit vulnerable in bot lane on his own. No one here to help Jax with this dive. I think it would be a complete and utter greed to even attempt to go for this. Christian Simeone, seemingly the only person that's really paying respect to the Jax.
Kind of questioning Believix. I mean, I guess if they try and go for Baron while Jax is splitting, but oh, good pick.
That's a huge pick for Jenna Proudmoore. So well played. He is having a fantastic game, and Christian is just TPing straight into the mouth of danger. Fanxy manages to jump in, but the Poppy ult knocks him away. Christian Simeone falls so low. The Stand United comes out. to keep him alive just a little bit longer. The curtains are open and there's a huge Jin damage onto the back line. Junna is blocking everything. Dooku jamming, going to cut out the edge of this fight. The Centaur comes in and it's a huge flash ult right into the middle. This stack is doing so much damage and Junna's going to fall. He's going to be able to flash away and keep his life. Junna Permo picks off the Caruana and it's a huge fight for Believix. Dooku jamming onto the front line. Hawksbill and Fancy the only two that are going to get away from this fight. A huge turn for Believix.
And how crucial was that early pick from Believix? Yeah. The fight was so close. If Seraphine is there at any point with her shields and her healing, it's definitely turning the other way. But once again, it's Jaina Proudmoore getting the initial pick, and that's how the fight gets turned around. This is just top and mid gap right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Luke and Christian Sirioni, neither of them do damage, neither of them are tanky. It's so difficult for them to do anything. Trying to stack armor against this Jax, but it's just not working.
Yep, Judgy, I mean, the Silver Ricochets were doing some work, but clearly he's not there yet. Ideally, you would like LDR as well to counter the health stacking, but yeah, he can't really... I mean, he could go for LDR third. It is an option. Like, that just boosts your Ricochet damage and your Q damage. But he's just committed to the Infinity Edge just to...
Actually, a small fight over this red buff. Jenna's really committing to this. Fancy jumps in. The Encore is going to go completely wide. And Fancy did pick up the red buff, but in exchange for an Encore, which is a huge teamfighting ultimate on a 90-second or so cooldown at this point in the game.
That's a very big deal for Believix. The strongest teamfight ultimate pretty much is down for Brainstorm, but it does look like they are kind of committed to his KO split pushing instead of fighting for the dragon. Which is a fair call. This doesn't really do anything right now.
But I think Kale gets a hell of a lot of value out of this.
Yeah, considering the circumstances, definitely the right thing to do if you're a Brainstorm. Kale already on 2 items, but she's just going to keep spiking with every item that she builds. Like, if the Rabadon comes next, that's going to be absolutely insane. And he's 1 level from 16. Let's not forget. The clock is ticking. But I also hope that this doesn't, you know, push Believix into something truly desperate. Because that almost, I mean, like, harebrained plays almost lost them the second game. And they're still in a good spot to win this one, but they have to take advantage of this Jax still having a very big lead in terms of items.
I'll be pulling at that Force of Nature. As I said earlier, that's really going to negate a hell of a lot of damage against this comp. And Heckler Gremlin, can you explain the idea behind plated steel caps in this game by any chance?
Kale auto attacks you a lot. That's all I got. Yeah, I would much rather have Merc Treads, not only because of the CC, but it's just, like, the damage profile of the enemy team just suggests Merc Treads as the default option. No, at least the Mythic choice is correct, so we're halfway there.
You're already dead. You just haven't caught up yet.
A little bit of a dance in the mid lane for Luke and his ADC. Both teams so nervous to look for anything. It's again one of those situations where it's so easy to just get blown up right away at the start of a fight.
Believix were waiting for spikes for a while, and it feels like now they finally got him. Rabadon's on RA just completed. Jax at free items, Sivir at free items. This is pretty much Believix at their potential peak this game. So this is where you have to pull the trigger and try to look for fights the way you want them to start, really, which is just Jaina Proudmoore sitting on the sidelines waiting for the right opportunity to strike. A classic front-to-back team fight if it's just like no strings attached, we're just fighting 5v5 in the open. That's not gonna go well for you. So I have to look for alternatives. Yuna's still on split push duty, as he should. And his Believix just dancing around Baron.
No vision on this Baron as of yet. Control ward's stopping anything they might go for. Are going to get rid of it clear with their own vision. Secret jamming, maybe in a spot of bother if he gets committed onto, but they're not going to go for it just yet. Oh, Junna is just so strong. Junna Proudmoore sitting in a brush on his own, standing in a vision, but he has no idea. Secret jamming, gonna reclaim vision in that Baron pit for his team.
I mean, the longer you wait here, the more awkward the timing gets between Dragon and Baron. Believix just kind of trading waves with Brainstorm right now, which is fine for Kayle especially. But Believix will have the Dragon setup. They are first in the river. As long as they have the positioning, it should be okay to start a fight. Dinar opens up.
Drake
Good ult!
in a lot of trouble. The Poppy ult away, and it's enough, and that is 3 Ocean Souls and a soul point for Believix. And now you are in trouble. Kayle is level 16, but you still are just so far behind. The slingshot comes in, it's a flash ult straight onto Jujurox on the back line. The deadly flourish is going to catch him out. He's going to fall so quickly at the start of the fight. Technogram is going to follow immediately. Jax and Poppy are nowhere to be seen. Jenna Proudmoore has to ult away to survive for himself. And Brainstorm Unleashed turn towards the Baron.
Yeah, Yuna was still splitting on the other side of the map, and I feel like Believix should have just respected that fact that they didn't. It's again Jujurox falling at a very unfortunate timing for Believix, but Yuna's not stopping yet. He's gonna get this inhib turret and fall back. Believix at least gets something for their troubles. Oh, but Yuna's still very far up. Stand United used.
And the Encore comes out. Junna is definitely going to be in a lot of trouble. The counter strike is not enough to save him, but he almost returns the kill on the way out if it wasn't for the Divine Judgment. And Brainstorm Unleashed, taking these throws and running with them.
That was free ultimates used just to stop him from killing one champion, but I guess it's still...
The slingshot being charged. Not
still
quite long enough yet to
Brainstorm.
find anything.
Jaina Proudmoore on the flank.
He could look for something.
They're not
here.
aware of his position, I don't think.
He's gonna dash straight in, blocked from that slingshot. Fanxy's gonna get ulted away. There might be a position they can go for a fight here. The huge taunt straight onto Duty Jamming, and he's gonna fall right at the start of the fight. Jenna Proudmoore gets pulled back in. Technogram's gonna fall second. Jujurox trying to do damage, but he just can't. He can't get near them. The charm manages to block out the slingshot, and Jujurox is gonna try and return as much damage as he can. Fanxy,
We're still going.
not gonna fall in the end. The sound of that voice when he is a small boy.
Oh, Yuna.
sitting on the sidelines waiting for something to happen. Fanxi seems to be trying to bait him in. I don't think he wins this if he just runs at them, yeah. Another good fight for Brainstorm Unleashed. Kale really starting to get out of hand.
Yeah, I think Believix are facing the grim realization that most of their champions are starting to fall in terms of scaling compared to the opposition. Seraphine keeping all these champions alive, the Zac having ridiculous healing, and there's no healing reduction on the other side. There's just none.
That slingshot is just so scary. No one able to do anything about it. They're going to take this mid tower basically for completely free. The Poppy ult does come in to knock out Christian Simeone, but it's not enough to provoke a fight at all. Trying to clear waves and keep it neutral for as long as they can. That dragon is up soon.
Well, as long as Believix can withstand the Baron.
Jenna Proudmore could look for something here. It does manage to land the charm to Fanxi, but it's not going to translate to anything. The curtain call comes out. Christian Simeone autoing for free in the middle of his team. That is a huge Braum ultimate. Are doing so much damage to the entire team. Lucar want to save but a Divine Judgment, but Jenna's going to go straight back in. The counter strike comes out. He stuns Christian in the tower. Christian's going to die, and it's a 3 kills
Silver
straight
Ricochet.
away, and Fanxi falls as well. And it's a 4 for nothing. For Believix out of nowhere. An incredible fight from Jenna Proudmore.
Yeah, it's caught doing so much work, but also just Brainstorm committing too hard to the engage, and Braum stops him right in his tracks. It was the shield,
Really, really well played from
and
Techno
also
Gremlin as well.
the Glacial Fissure. This might just be game. Kale's gonna come up, but
They're gonna go straight for the end.
Destroyed.
Seraphine not up for
they're
another
protecting the
13
wave.
seconds.
They're going for it.
And their
Good
kid's just
charm.
gonna
Oh
die.
my
Game 2
goodness.
is gonna go to Believix. And it is 2-1 to Believix in the grand finals.
They withstand the Death Ball. They beat the Brainstorm Death Ball. The most feared composition out of all of them in UNL Season 7, and they beat it.
And the return of Jax instead of the Fiora for Jenna. Now, this is a draft that is going to make an entertaining game.
This is a pretty big opportunity for Judgy Rocks to do a lot of damage later on into the game. If he can get through this laning phase, honestly, when it comes to team fights, he's in a very good spot. Because all these champions just want to commit into you, their melee. They will be in range of your feathers. When you're kiting back, you can just call them back, and that's a lot of AoE damage that they're just going to suffer, and then maybe the Rakan counter engage comes into play as well. But Techno Gremlin on Rakan, I mean, I think he'll have to prove it first, because like this champion has, not only does he have a high skill cap, he also has a pretty high skill floor, in my opinion.
Clearly, Brainstorm Unleashed have other ideas, but pings everywhere. I don't know what's going on.
Yep, pings for Brainstorm. They're looking for a very quick invade onto blue buff, but
They're gonna handshake invade.
yeah, Believix just looking to
30 seconds.
take a defensive position, but they're not going to run into Brainstorm.
Well,
There was definitely a world where Believix just straight up wins the level 1 if Brainstorm instead go for the other buff.
yeah.
Rakan W level 1 gets all 5 members when they walk in, and oh my goodness. That turns ugly real fast.
Now, both junglers, or not both junglers, excuse me, one jungler starting top side, the other starting bot side. Fancy pathing into his top laner, and Dooku jamming pathing into bot this time, which I don't know if he's actually done this series so far. Like, it's mostly been pathing towards Jenna, but clearly Jenna thinks he's just okay to just go.
Brainstorm, their window into this game is exploiting some matchup knowledge gaps that could occur mid and bot.
Mm.
I don't know if if Judgy doesn't respect this combo from Brainstorm, then they're just going to chain feed. Samira Rel is very, very dangerous. And there's also the Belveth mid that doesn't really, occur all that often in your solo queue games.
Oh, these trades are just so insane, even early game.
Yeah, Luke Caruana trading heavily, setting up potentially for the jungler to come in when the wave crashes into the tower. Yeah, so many dashes. It's so hard to punish Belveth.
No, nothing dangerous coming out from any lane as of yet. No one really going for a play necessarily. Dooku jamming making his way into bot lane is going to take that scuttle first, but if he goes straight bot afterwards is another question entirely.
The wave pushed in, but no jungler coming in from Brainstorm.
The slingshot comes straight into mid. Fangs is in a lot of trouble. Look, Christian's gonna be able to dive straight into Jenna Proudmore, but she's gonna get out with her life. He's gonna have to flash over the wall to safety. And that is one sum for the mid laner. Playing against an Ahri too is really, really important. It's already gone, but the huge engage comes in from Rel. Gigirox does, the ignite goes down, but they're not going to find anything from this, and they're going to be able to turn and deal a lot of damage on this trade back. Different Brainiac brought down so weak. And Hawksbill as well makes the mistake of walking too far up. But Fanxi is here. They baited them into the fight. It's happened again. Gigirox manages to flash away, but Technogram is going to fall for first blood. And Gigirox does get away with his life, but not a good start for this bot lane.
Again,
the kill did go to Samira in the end.
The initial stage from Believix, good. Even very good, because they avoid the all-in entirely, but then, again, they massively overestimate their ability and also probably just don't account for the jungler at all, which has happened before many times. And they get punished.
Have been baited in a few times.
It's also a bit of a... Oh!
And there's a huge trade coming to the part where the ignite does go down, but... And...
Wow.
Oh my god.
I feel like the damage reduction is the only thing that actually kept alive the Belveth in that spot.
Oh no, Jenna's in top and he's so weak, he's gonna have to flash away. Look
No way!
He's not gonna die to the tower! The master emote went out and everything. Oh. No flash use, or no flash existing for Luke Caruana in the end, but Dooku jamming might look for a slingshot straight into that brush. He's gonna get away without it.
Playing on the edge, that's for sure. Luke Caruana furiously pinging the summoner spell. They really want to punish this Jax. They don't want to make the same mistake twice.
Furiously pinging. Okay. We go back. It is a 1.4k goal lead at 5 minutes with 1 kill.
Oh.
All of these lanes.
They could punish him right here as he's trying to shove.
You're jamming the slingshot goes completely wide, but he does manage to pull him back. The Udyr is able to get away with that stun, but if that slingshot landed, it was a confirmed kill for sure. Dooku jamming would be kicking himself for that.
Still a good timing from him. This is pretty much as...
Yeah, no, it's completely fine, but it's a little bit unlucky more than anything. Got out less than they might have deserved from the play itself, just because of a small mechanical misplay.
Yeah, but now Okay, the wave is still in an okay spot, but now it's Fanxi who's...
Thankfully, he does have level 6
a
available.
visit.
Luke Caruana is going to show straight under tower. Doesn't manage to get the stun. All ins
big
in
engage.
all 3 lanes. Judgy Rocks is dead in the bot lane. Technogram's going to get out with his life. Jonna is the next target. The slingshot in from Duke Jamming. Luke Caruana is on 1 HP. The Onslaught Shadows manages to keep him alive just long enough with the fear. And it is win, win, win all over. And another kill for Hawksbill. That phrase never gets old. But Rel does get executed in the end, and Duke Johnny gets away with his life. And already, this game looking so different to the previous two.
Both teams know
Jenna
very well.
Proudmoore.
Oh, well.
Jenna definitely punching above his weight a little bit there. Hawksbill picks up another play, and that Samira is going to do so much damage. Christian Simeone completely whiffs the above and below. Hawksbill gonna look for an all-in, and
Level
it's
6.
Judgy Rocks is caught again. He has the level 6. It's one more Q. It comes out, and it's another kill for Hawksbill.
This is exactly what I was fearing. They don't respect the Samira. It hits them by surprise, and this is just completely changing the landscape of the game. Samira with this big of a lead. It's gonna be such a big deal in the dragon fights.
And it's an all-in into mid. The Spirit Rush is cancelled. She's locked up for so long, but she does manage to get away with her life with the final charge of it. Very, very close. Nympho Brainiac playing very, very well on this rel. Definitely not something we see very often. In fact, have we seen it at all this season? I don't believe we have.
Which champion?
Rel.
Brainstorm did pick it before.
Ah, fair enough.
I'm pretty sure.
Jenna looking for a big fight onto Luke Caruana. He just does not take damage. Judgy and Techno Gremlin struggling to stay alive in this tower. It's a 3-0-1 Samira with shield bow at 8 minutes. And another 350 gold on top of that. She is just so strong. Duke Jamming looking for a potential slingshot to Luke Caruana. He's stunned in place and he does get knocked up, and this will be the end of Udyr. Eventually, Jenna finally gets on the board. Another Bork Rush for him. Gonna be once he gets that, might actually start doing a little bit of meaningful damage to Luke.
Yeah. Believix
Gonna take
understand.
the Herald as well.
Yeah, they understand how much hinges on this top lane matchup and the importance of getting Yuna ahead in the laning phase, but they still have that Samira Rel looming over their heads, so now it's imperative for Judgy and Techno Gremlin to not concede any more kills. That would be very bad for the game. I guess they just take this dragon for free, but that's fine. They just have to weather the storm for now.
Luke Caruana looking for a fight onto Jenna. Gonna have to dash away, but Luke Caruana's still running. Forfeits that eventually. First strike of the game goes to Brainstorm Unleashed. If I think about saying Manhattan Project one more time, and Judgy Rocks is just walking up for no reason. Does manage to get away with his own ultimate, but it's just such a waste. There is no need to be up that far when you are so far behind. And Fanxi is here to punish with the onslaught of shadows. Judgy Rocks is going to be the first to fall. The knockup misses, and Techno Gremlin falls to the Rel ultimate. Does return the kill, but it doesn't matter. And another 2 kills surrendered to the Brainstorm Unleashed bot lane.
Yeah, this bot lane has already reached its breaking point. It's pretty much over and done with. The only real win condition right now that is active is top lane, and that's it. If you try and play towards bot lane, you're just going to get punished for it by the bot lane itself, because they're that far ahead. Like, even in a 2v3 situation, I fear that they don't have enough.
Went in 2v3s. Christian Simeone maybe looking for Jenna. Does get spotted out by that ward on the way. I think early days, but it looks like we will have a game 5. Christian Simeone almost getting caught out, but the two horsies just such a big threat roaming around the map together. Jonah going for a huge all-in. He does so much damage now. Luke really struggling.
Yeah, that one small kill once again actually putting the matchup in a very bad spot for Luke Caruana. I guess on this champion he can sustain a lot better. Zudir we're talking about here. But again, it's Believix who have to be a lot more careful in the bottom lane. Oh.
And the slingshot over the wall, Christina just about manages to dash away from it. She has so much mobility.
Yeah, you're not really killing
Let's
Belbeth
dodge
unless...
from the slingshot again. The ult has to come in, but she's just so mobile. I don't understand the point of repeat ganking this.
Yeah, they're throwing so much at Christian while Ekram is just taking camps, taking more camps, and then taking more camps. He's not really doing anything but taking camps. Again, we're
Double his CS
yeah,
with a few more KP.
Again in that
Really,
situation
really...
where Fanxy's just set up a whole, not just
Digirox and Gremlin being
CS.
completely zoned off their wave. They just can't walk up. They can't do anything. The wave is here. They just can't even contest. 2 flashes used, but Christian Simeone is safe. The above and below comes in, won't quite land with that extra charm or that extra charge of Spirit Rush for Jenna Proudmore. Hawksbill potentially trying to go for a 2v1. The Xayah ultimate is still available, does get knocked up, and the ultimate is cancelled. And this could be a huge win for the Believix bot lane. The ult does come out. Hawksbill is on 1 HP right at the edge of this fight. Luke Caruana also fighting Jenna on top at the same time. But Hawksbill does manage to get the ultimate off. He's 1 HP in the middle of a massive minion wave. Joji and Hawksbill just poking away at each other. Neither of them are going to fall. So close to being make or break.
Yeah, some limit testing in game 4. That was... yeah, that was a Hawksbill moment for sure. Like, this guy really...
The above and below in mid lane does land, but Jennifer Moore's gonna get away with that, and I will let you continue what you're gonna say there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this guy's never going to back down from a fight.
The charm does land onto Fanxy, but the Onslaught of Shadows comes in as well, flashed away from the above and below, but it's not going to be enough, and Fanxy picks up another kill. He is just so far ahead.
And it does feel like Brainstorm actually found a trump card in this draft. He may be behind in mid, but he's constantly putting a target on himself in mid, pushing up, playing aggressive versus the Ahri. It doesn't matter if he's behind, but he's withstanding so much pressure while the bot lane is just doing whatever they want. That's all that matters. And also, like, the jungler has so much more room to breathe because he doesn't have to.
Caruana catches out Digirox again. I have no idea what this champion does, but that looked so cool. I have to say, I don't know why I didn't mention this sooner, but it feels like something so obvious now that if you pick something that can capitalize on, for lack of a better term, inting from Believix bot lane, something that will really benefit off it and really punish it, it is Samira, you know? It's definitely a really, really good pick.
Yeah, there are holes in Brainstorm's draft, but it also is very much capitalizing on the weaknesses of Believix.
That's why we're going in for the steal.
The
Not
goal
quite
lead is
catching
so
it.
big because of that.
I mean, Mark and Judgy, they have their times where they do play so well. It's just the constant being caught out, unnecessary deaths, and it happens so often.
Can they even hold on? Is the question.
And it's another Herald into the mid lane. This is going to get 2 charges at least. Even below lands. And oh, that is a beautiful engage from Rel. It is an absolute massacre.
Well, hold that thought. They're actually...
They are coming back. It was a huge engage. I don't know what went so wrong in that fight.
I feel like Techno Gremlin on the Rakan actually stopped some of that damage from happening, and that's what enabled the 1-for-1 trade. So they only get 1 tower, but it's still a very sizable lead for Brainstorm. They will interrupt this recall too. Won't really mean much in the grand scheme of things.
Thanksy might be able to look for an onslaught of shadows into the mid lane. Christian Simeone is split pushing away on this top side with those little minion things. The fishes, we'll call them. I just said fishes, unironically. Anyway, moving on. Junna is able to get out. Almost found himself in a little bit of trouble.
Believix just somehow has to... I don't know what they have to do. Maybe they just have to perform a, like, press/pause and perform a rain dance. I don't know. Something has to happen. Somehow they have to get to a point where Jax has, like, Sunderer and maybe another item.
This is the difference I've noticed between the teams. When Brainstorm and Leash get a lead, they really slam down. They really punish it, like, with everything they have. Whereas Believix and their 2 wins were both really, really close games. But I think if you can get past 10 minutes against this Believix, or against this Brainstorm and Leash team, definitely a lot easier to beat. I mean, obviously, that comes against every team, but I think with Brainstorm and Leash more so. I think Believix are a little bit better at playing evenly than they are, as far as I can tell, just judging by this series alone.
Yeah, Xayah still needs so much more time in this game. Doesn't really count as reliable DPS right now.
Good jamming, slingshotting straight in. Christian may be getting caught out, but that endless banquet is just going to be too much. Even if they do get on top of her. Gonna potentially looking for a flag. The below does land, and it's the onslaught of shadows. And Xayah's gonna fall already. It's absolutely massive from Brainstorm Unleashed. Samira is on a double kill. Duke of Jumping is going to be the next to fall, and it is a triple kill. Hawk's Bill going for the 4th, but the Spirit Rush is enough to keep her alive. He's gonna go straight in, he's gonna finish her off, and it's gonna be 4 quick kills for Hawk's Bill. And it's 13-3. It is an absolute stomp from Brainstorm Unleashed.
This is very bad for Believix, and I don't just mean this game, because obviously they're like 10k down, but this also has ramifications for game 5, because it's 2 picks you now have to worry about. You can't punish mid when he's on Belveth. You can't win bot lane. In fact, you get stomped bot lane if they have Samira. So maybe they'll be forced to prioritize different bans in game 5 for this series, but then something is open that Brainstorm didn't have access to.
It's just so difficult when there are so many power picks for BSU to get them all. Especially now that you've seen the Samira in action, you're definitely going to be picking it again. Jenna Proudmore getting caught out for no reason. Does manage to get away with using just about every mobility spell in his kit. Fanxi is rushing in. The onslaught of shadows soon to follow, I assume, but the feathers go down, and it might be an opportunity for Judgy Rocks to do a lot of damage from this backline, but there's too much healing. There's too much damage. Hawksbill is everywhere, and Judda is going to be the third to fall, and Judgy Rocks in the end. It is another quadra kill for Hawksbill.
This is a total
They
massacre.
might die for the Penta. Game 4, excuse me, is most definitely over. But will they look for the Penta? They're just going to go straight for the end. Not messing around at all. An amazing performance, particularly from the BSU bot lane, but all over the board. Really, really well played. And we go to Game 5.
Yeah, there was never any doubt when those first 2 kills happened bot lane. I was like, okay, this is not going to be a Believix win. There's just no way. They got those first 2 kills, they blown the subs, and that's when the floodgates burst open. There's no way to contain that when Judgy and Techno Gremlin just haven't been able to play from behind, really.
Oh my god. It is a 5 melee comp into a Darius, and an Amumu, and an Orianna.
Okay, technically 4 a melee, but yeah, it doesn't really change the situation.
Swain plays like a melee, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. This is just
5 melees.
This is just Brainstorm. They will try to brute force. They legit.
If they Brainstorm at least win this game.
This is so crazy. Like, they don't ban Darius, they commit to this playstyle where he just stack melees on top of each other, and then they will just try to out-team fight their way out of the game and win the series that way. But I don't know about this. This is highly suspect behavior, and it reminds me of my draft versus Believix, the same team.
I don't wanna flame it, because they're like, if I flame it, they're gonna go out and just stomp. It's gonna make me look like such a fucking idiot. I can't do this. I don't know what to do. Now we are in. Again, both oh my god, this is gonna be a brawl. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh
no!
He's going.
Wow.
No way, nothing happens here. Okay, the pause. Hawksbill, huge passive stack. Duke of Jamming, almost trolling. Oh my god, that misfortune damage level 1.
that banished toss.
Huh?
Right into Brainstorm, like Techno Gremlin.
Absolutely no fear. Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
This man wants to win.
Oh,
he saw the angle and he just went for it. Early invade from Brainstorm? I mean, late invade. No, just vision.
Now, back to reverse of what we had last game. Duke of Jamming starting bottom and Fanxi starting top.
Yeah, so
my god, these level 1 trades from Belva.
Teams, both junglers starting on the opposite sides and pathing towards what we expect to be the dominating lane.
I think it's gonna be a little bit like where nothing happens and then all of a sudden it's just gonna blow up.
Oh,
Duke of Jamming is so early in the game. Presumably ignites down. Jenna Proudmore, the flash is going to save him. He eases back into his teammate. Ben, no. He's not even gonna fall. Oh my god.
You saw it. You saw the flash, right? Like,
Yeah.
just heroic charge, stun into the wall is a kill. He hesitated when it was a clean kill. Oh, that was good timing, but then, like, you don't pull the trigger when you need to pull the trigger. It's so sad. Oh, Luke Caruana. This is a matchup where Wukong can dominate in the early game. He gets a solo kill.
Solo killed.
Brainstorm winning the early game.
Oh, he tricked him.
Oh, but the dash is going to be stopped. No tricking Poppy. Or is there? Oh my god, don't get your ankles broken, please. No way. No way! No way! Oh my god, how does this happen?
And the flash comes in, Fanksy's here, this game is just so doomed already. Technical has to flash out.
Luke Caruana somehow gets 2 kills. Ridiculous. What is happening? They actually put it all on the line. They said, okay, we will fight Vidarius head on. Wukong is a fine matchup. We will try to skill check bot lane again. And we will just stick to our strengths no matter what, even if it means Vidarius can actually dominate at some point. He can actually pop off if he gets a chance. They will just do it anyway. It's a test of convictions.
It's not looking good for Believix. So early in this game, the above and below lands of Christian Simeone solo tower dives. Jenna also getting absolutely dominated in top lane. And it is so sad for Believix.
Can't close the distance.
Game.
Or, well,
and Duke of Jamming
Christian
picks up
bad,
the shot in return, but GG is going to get engaged on. The never move doesn't quite land. The stun does. Tekken Gremlin is so weak without this aftershock. Duke of Jamming trying to come in time. But GG has fully stacked. He has 1 kill. And another solo kill in top lane. Duke of Jamming trying to stun Hawksbill into the wall. Everything Believix do, Brainstorm Unleashed can do better. It is a disaster.
Luke Caruana could very well end up the hero of this series if he gets the matchup going even harder than he already is. Like, he solo killed him twice. He's playing. He understands the matchup and he's capitalizing versus Yuna's one of his best picks in UNL this season. But still, you have to understand that this is not over. Believix still has advantages in terms of scaling.
They were below land already. Christian Simeone just doing so much damage to get in this Banquet, but Duke of Jamming is here to try and help. No shockwave available for Orianna just yet. Just going to be able to poke her and run. Techno Gremlin gets engaged on, but it misses. It doesn't land. And therefore Brainiac is in trouble here.
I don't know
the
if
sun
I want
doesn't
to fight
quite
this.
land. Fanxy tries to get the pillar out.
I really feel like Believix, even if it means conceding this first streak, they really should just try and stabilize the situation. They can't let it be a repeat of Game 4. They have to just call it a loss when it's actually a loss. Don't compensate for past mistakes. Orianna's way behind right now. So is Vidarius.
That is just going to have such a nightmare trying to play the game. And my god, is Luke doing so much damage to him.
The bone plating is not enough.
Oxville really consistently landing these never moves. One below does land. Cristiano just getting some more chip damage. A shockwave misses. There's so much pressure gone from Oriana. The Caruana looking for the knockup potentially. Not quite yet. Duke jamming caught out, and he is just going to fall so quickly. Never mind. The ult to take them both away. Really well played for Duke jamming. And the all-in for Jana. It's just one more Q. He has to flash away. He is having way too much fun up there.
Yeah, even with this matchup, I feel like this is going above expectations for Brainstorm. Poppy still has flash.
Coming, trying to get away from these two. The above and below doesn't land. It's such a disaster for Brainstorm, or for Believix, excuse me.
Yeah, right now the Oriana is still trying to farm up. Can't really help all that much when the jungler is under attack. There's only so many ways that you can sacrifice. As a control mage, you have to get to your item spikes pretty early. He's not even gonna have Mythic for the next dragon. Surely not. That probably means Believix just wait until third Drake and then see what their chances are like when that neutral objective spawns. Right now is just more of the same, which is trying to hold on to his current game state. Don't fall further behind.
I mean, if you look at the kills, it looks worse than it is. The goal difference isn't actually that big. Especially when your misfortune is, you know, she's doing fine in bot. Like, Darius hasn't died since. Cristiano looking for more here. Dooku jamming, trying to keep him in this spot. Cristiano maybe overstepping a little bit. The ghost comes out from Jenna Proudmoore. Does have that shockwave available. He is going to look for it. The one below does land. I think the earlier shockwave might have been a lot more beneficial. I think the early shockwave was probably the idea there.
Didn't quite close the gap.
And oh, they commit! Pull and Mumu ult, and the Swain is standing right in the middle of that bullet time, and Info Brainiac's going to fall too. It's two huge kills. Luke Caruana struggling a little bit in the trade in top lane. He's going to fall!
Gets it!
So weak, and he does fall! And it's huge for Believix all over the map. It's just win, 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 win. Their sights set on Christian Simeone next. Yes, the E available doesn't quite land the stun. The knockup is there. Fanks is here to help. The above below really well dodged from Duke for jamming, and it's brilliant from Believix. Picking up little advantages all over the map. Really well played from Jenna top lane as well.
The bot lane showing up. Techno Gremlin pulls the trigger at the right time. Brainstorm bot lane way out of position. I don't know what they were trying to do, honestly, in that spot. They just get caught. And that was the big talking point of this game. Can Brainstorm bot lane snowball their lead once again with this matchup? Turns out it won't be so easy this time. And Yona Dabola is also finally turning this matchup around in his favor. So everything seemed so easy just a few minutes ago, and now not so much.
So quickly.
Oh, that is still a big presence, though. Oh, no vision. The stun, the CC combo.
Yoni does have to flash away, but he does get away with his life in the end. Dangerous waters for Brainstorm Unleashed.
I have to say, like, Duke of Jamming is really playing well around this Fog of War.
Yeah.
he made that mistake in the first gank, but now he's contributing to this attempt at a victory in this final game of the series. They're gonna get second Drake, as expected. Brainstorm will just get that because they still have the arguments to win the fights.
Oh, and Luke Caruana finds himself in a little bit of trouble. The Noxie Guillotine is still up, remember? Luke Caruana, no ultimate available. Junna, on the other hand, does. And it's a huge engagement to bot lane from Nympho Brainiac. Technical Gremlin's going to find himself in the world of her. It's a huge ultimate. The bullet time comes out. It's going to have to be cancelled straight away to keep her alive. He's doing so much damage, but all three of them are going to fall in the end. Duke Jamming actually does get away with his life, but not good for Believix.
They should have just committed to the disengage. I don't know why they were just kind of in two minds about fighting or not fighting.
Yeah.
Like, Misfortune channeling bullet time for 2 waves before having to cancel it. You just have to fall back when the situation is dire. Well, that is a pretty big swing for Brainstorm Unleashed, but can they keep this going?
Looking at the above and below and to Jenna Proudmore in the mid lane. The E might be enough to finish it. It's not quite. The Endless Bouquet. Banquet, excuse me. Ramping up damage the lower your target gets. That is huge damage onto Nympho Brainiac.
No.
Judgy has to flash out of the engage, and Fanxy is here. If this never move lands, it's a definite kill. The pillar body blocks him out of the way of it.
How does he survive? Did you? Oh my god. The movement saves him. Somehow he maneuvers between the damn pillar and the claw coming right at him. How is that not a kill? That was crazy. Holy.
Potential 2v2 in top lane here. Junna in a lot of trouble. Duke Jamming is there to help. He does get the healing from the axe swing. And the boxing he's gonna get
Triumph
the
saves him. Oh my god.
It's another huge kill for Believix. This game is so close.
Such a clutch knockup from Duke of Jamming at the exact right time to let Darius get the reset. Once again, he's doing so much in these skirmishes. Actually getting his laners some advantages. Believix holding on, fighting back. That's all that really needs to be done at this point. Darius building the Gore Drinker. It's so good this game. Absolutely the right call.
I hope he does. Techno Gremlin, he's gonna find himself in a lot of trouble, but his team is there to help him, and look, Christian Simeone is in so much trouble now.
Uh-oh.
Never move does
re-engage.
Shunna is absolutely dead. Techno Gremlin will for sure be soon to follow. And a member of the Believix bot lane caught out once again.
Re-engage. This time it wasn't good. And what if you only ult one person and you don't even have damage to get that kill? Like, again, you have to call it quits. Believix, they haven't really showcased that they understand when is a bad fight and when is a good fight. I feel like they're kind of shaky when it comes to that. That's where Brainstorm is exploiting. And they actually now have a substantial lead, 4,000. That is, again, pretty bad timing when you consider the dragon.
Another Herald in the mid lane. Jenna Proudmore just does no damage to the spell Veth. And the tower is gonna fall. The Endless Van K, just so much sustain. Duke of Jamming blocks out the dash. She's completely grounded, has to flash out of that shockwave, smiting everything. He is
they really
so
want to get this
slow.
pick.
They won't
So
get it
many
in the
dashes. No shockwave, no sums for Orianna before this fight for the third dragon.
Wayne has to
Potentially
go.
crucial
He
stuff.
has the ult. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be a big fight.
Oh, the bullet time.
Almost swapping it out. The stopwatch from
Pretty big.
is gonna keep him alive. And this fight is well and truly over already. Fancy flashes over the wall to fight Gigi Rocks. The Curse of the Sad Mummy is enough to maybe get one of them out alive. Hawk's Bill is not finished yet. He's still going. The Never Move isn't going to land. And on the complete other side of the map, Christian Simeone finding another pick. And now, I think that is the fight that they needed. I think this one might be beyond saving now.
This was what Strawbid broke the camel's back. They lost this team fight badly. Brainstorm on Cloud's soul point. Believix still having no answer to all these tanky champions on the other side. They don't have the damage yet. They're not at that point in this game where they can actually contend mano a mano, so to speak. Jaina Proudmoore is suffering so much. Even if he builds Void Staff, which I don't know if this even the right call, like trying to maximize DPS desperately, I don't know if that does anything.
Oh, and he's caught out again. And he is dead again.
Oh, maybe
Caruana going in with his own ult. Really, really unnecessary engage. The Noxian Guillotine, not quite enough to finish him off. But the Misfortune gets the kill in the end. Nympho Brainiac also on a mission to send gold to the enemy team.
Yeah, Believix taking advantage of the unnecessary engage from the other side. Pretty good.
Christian Simeone, completely impossible to catch out.
Gold landing on the right champion, but now I see what he's about to build, and I don't know if I want to say it out loud. Oh no, and now he gets caught out! It's a double curse!
The Curse of the Sad Mummy goes in, but it's just gonna be Hawksbill. The stopwatch is healing and healing and healing. And he's going to get it. He's just about going to get a kill. He is just so strong. That demonic eye almost picking up the second. Every time they get a foot in the game,
just too durable.
Brainstorm Unleashed, slamming it right on top of them.
This Baron's gonna be very fast with Belveth.
My god, that Baron damage.
No contest from the enemy team anyway. This is just gone from bad to worse. Officially. I don't know. I mean, no, I don't. Even in the most, even in the best circumstances, it's like, how can Yona survive versus these items? It's like he can't tank this much damage. Maybe if he had an enchanter on his team, but obviously there's no enchanter in this game. It's looking grim for Believix, and it's looking very good for Brainstorm Unleashed. Both teams suffered so much along the way. There's some heavy losses, but at the end of the day, it looks like Brainstorm are the ones with just the better arguments inside of this series. More problematic champions. Samira was forced as a ban, but that still left something like the Belveth, which is clearly a big problem, not only in this game, but the previous one.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
And they're now going to sync up the waves. They're pushing on both sides. Now is the time for Believix to try and force something.
The bullet time comes in. It's absolutely massive. But
This is
will
good.
it matter? Franksy's gonna fall too.
No way.
And the
Oh,
huge
Hawkspill.
ascension comes out. Hawkspill is absolutely 1v9.
He's going for the penta, maybe. He doesn't have flash.
Hawkspill is absolutely massive.
Every day I rule, Noxus becomes a more perfectly special.
We were doubting whether Hawkspill was able to do it on a pick other than Samira. Turns out the doubts were misplaced. Even on Ezreal he looked good, but that was just an unfortunate incident there, I suppose.
And they're just gonna go straight for the end. Poppy just on her last legs, trying to get something back.
Still chasing.
Hawkspill
They're
is
gonna get
going
this
to
Swain.
fall. Dooku jamming
All
pulls
the gold
one back
going
somehow.
towards Judgy Rocks. They can't contest. Well, maybe they can. Actually, maybe they can. But still, this is... They have to pull it off. Like, if they can't execute on this, the game probably ends.
Hook is down for Darius. It's a really big cooldown.
It's still a 4v3.
They're gonna go straight onto the Drake. Lucario might be able to look for an engage onto Misfortune right at the start of this fight.
Okay. They
And this
decide
is gonna
not
be
to
for
fight.
Drake.
So Believix stops the Dragon
And
Soul,
Christian
but
Simeone is
oh,
going to catch out Jenna Proudmore, and she's just gonna fall so quickly. The flush out! She might manage
No.
to get out alive somehow. She gets out.
the Shockwave saves the Orianna from falling. That could have been the nail in the coffin, but Believix are still in this. No matter how small their chances are right now, they are still fighting as hard as they possibly can, but oh my goodness, it's gonna take...
No tower's gone yet.
Gonna take an absolute 1v9 belter from Yuna. But, oh wait, Fanxy is not in the right spot right
Caught
now.
out, but he's just so tanky.
Reset.
And the Noxian is gonna land, and it's huge. The bullet time might come in soon.
Oh, but no
Hawkspill
reset now.
is just
Oh.
so strong, and that's gonna be it. This is the fight they needed to end the game. Hawkspill picks up another triple kill for Christian Simeone.
Oh, they got the
and they're gonna
initial
go straight
pick.
to the Nexus.
They got the pick. They felt so confident about the fight, but there's still so many more members
They
of
just-
Brainstorm which are fed. They just beat
have
them
to
with their
watch.
wallets. Nexus is open. Brainstorm Unleashed will do it. Season 7 champions after 5 games. They do it. Brainstorm Unleashed wins Season 7 after one of the most grueling series I've seen in UNL. Grand Finals, I feel like this one is up there. Along with the Season 5 series, this one was massive.